I feel so incredibly lucky. Hi, I'm Ben, a 34-year-old self-employed solo house cleaner from Greater Manchester. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not earning six figures, but I have somehow managed to amass over 350k. I'm going to show you every pound I own and exactly how I got here. I almost didn't make this video. I'm not the kind of guy that posts on social media. I just wish that somebody had made this video for me 15 years ago when I first started out. So I grew up on a council estate, the outskirts of Manchester. My dad was a window cleaner and my mum was a nurse. I remember being sat with my nan, we were sat watching TV, and this guy comes on the TV and it describes him as an entrepreneur. And I couldn't even pronounce the word. And I said, Dan, what's one of them? And she said, oh, an entrepreneur. She said, that's somebody who's got £1 million in bank, that. I said, wow, £1 million? She says, yeah. I said, wow, what must you do to get £1 million? And I remember thinking, geez, like, I'll never have £1 million. That's how I grew up, thinking that, whoa, like, that guy's just a different person. Like, that wealth is for him, not for me. And it's not for people like us. It's not for people like us on the estate. Like, they were just a completely different person, like different breed, different, completely different worlds. And here I am with a net worth at 350k. And I still can't believe how lucky I am and how I got here. Cleaning houses, solo cleaning houses, self-employed, and I've just managed to build up 350k at age 34. I spent a lot of time with my nan and granddad because my mum and dad were working quite a lot. My mum used to do a lot of night shifts, so she'd be asleep a lot through the day. So my nan would pick us up quite often from school, and then we'd go there for tea when mum had asleep, and my dad would already still be at work. I remember on the way home from school, we would pick up lottery tickets, and that was the only way that I thought that you could get money would be to win it. I thought that was, everyone just went to work, and the only way you would ever have anything other than just a salary, something you could buy on a salary, would be to win the lottery. So my granddad would get all our lottery tickets, and sometimes he would get me one. He'd get me a line. When the teletext was a big thing, the numbers would come on there, so we'd wait. I think it might have been 7:30 or 8:00, or until the numbers came on teletext. My nan would still be sat in kitchen and would be in the living room with teletext on, and he'd be sat there and he'd be putting a line under these numbers, and then he'd come back in. She goes, he's called Alan. She goes, have we got anything, Ali? I say, no, not a sausage. She goes, oh, never mind, love, maybe next week. So that's the world I grew up thinking that was the only way ever to get money. But fast forwarding in 20 years, I've managed to build myself over 350k when I've totted everything up. And the funny thing is, I don't have a fantastic paying job. I'm a cleaner, a self-employed house cleaner from Greater Manchester. I really want to prove to myself that even on an ordinary income, I can actually build an extraordinary life. The reason I'm making this video isn't because I want to be a YouTuber. It's because I know there's somebody out there that thinks the exact same way that I used to think, that wealth is just for other people and they'll never have anything nice. Like, if I'm never going to be able to have a Mercedes, I just go to work every day and I'll never have anything spectacular. This video is for somebody who thinks that they don't earn enough, or perhaps they think that they're started too late. And if that's you, then I hope this video can help change what you believe to be possible. I don't remember any conversations about investing, stocks and shares, ISAs. Don't remember anybody ever talking about money in that way. I mean, the only place I thought you could get wealthy is by putting the lottery on a lucky ticket or on online gambling. I always wanted to own my own home, and when I was younger, not even that young, old enough to have had a job to be saving my own money, I didn't realise that people actually bought houses with a mortgage. I thought people would buy them for cash. I didn't realise that people would borrow it and pay it back over 20, 30, 40 years. I didn't know that was an even thing. My first proper job was at Morrison's, And I was trying to save as much money as possible. So I thought, right, one day I want to buy my own house. And that's the bar of how much I knew about finance when I first started, when I first left school at 18. Literally nothing. That sounds so silly saying that, because it wasn't for the deposit. I actually thought I had to buy the whole thing outright. While working at Morrison's, I felt pretty stuck, and I didn't know which direction my life was genuinely going to go in, because I actually wanted to have nice things and have financial security. I wanted those things. I didn't know what they were at the time. But the funny thing is, it wasn't the money that actually made me start feeling better. It was knowing that I had a plan to build up money, and I started to educate myself on finance and thinking, I wonder if there is a way on the money I earn for me to build up some sort of pot of money, and what would be the best way for that money to grow. Having a plan really did change my outlook on life. Knowing where I was heading changed everything. Having a plan changed everything for me. And even now, I know a small part of every single clean that I do is going towards my future fund. What nobody has ever explained to me in my life is that most wealth isn't won. It's built up slowly, month after month, year after year. Just consistent saving and investing. Now, as a Brit, talking about money makes us feel really uncomfortable. And as soon as you mention money to Brits, we get all mysterious. But I think it's really important to be transparent, because if someone had shown me this years ago, I think it really would have helped me. Here's my ISAs, pensions, LISAs, share of my house, and the cash I've got saved up. In there's no inheritance, no crypto, no lottery win, of course, no secret, just regular savings, regular investing, regular contributions to my pension, getting on the ladder as soon as I could, and time. Basically, consistency. So everything I do consistently. If I turned up to a house one day and cleaned it badly, then the next week I clean it well, then I clean it badly, I don't think they'll keep me around. I think they keep me because I'm consistent. Or one day I turn up at 11, the next I turn up at 9 in the morning, or then it's 1 in the afternoon. Feel like with anything in life, if you want to do well at anything, you've got to be consistent. I prefer to spend my time focusing on things that I can control, like working, some sort of learning, maybe an audio book, just something to just keep my mind active. In all the time I've spent and hours and weeks and years I've spent listening to podcasts and reading self-help books, a few observations I'd say are: wealth isn't reserved for special people. Success isn't limited. So if your best friend is doing well, or if your neighbour's doing well, or you see somebody online doing well, it doesn't limit your success. There's enough success out there for everybody to go around. Don't feel like just because they are being successful that you can't be successful, because I actually have been guilty of probably feeling like, maybe just feeling a little bit behind, perhaps. I don't know. I think I probably felt a little bit, probably like success, it was limited. I think that was one of my beliefs. I felt like if somebody was doing well, that meant somebody else had to do bad, when that's not actually the case. I think people are more capable than what they realise that they are. And finally, consistency beats brilliance most of the time. For example, if you're in a job and you're amazing, but only 1 day a week, you're only amazing, and all the other 4 days of the week that you're working, you're not consistent, but yet you've got somebody who's not bad, not incredible, but very steady, reliable, dependable, consistently average, rather than extremely good one day and rubbish the next. This video isn't really about 350 grand. It's more about showing what 34-year-old lad from a council estate earning an ordinary income can achieve. And hopefully it'll inspire somebody out there that was like me 10, 15 years ago. I feel like I'm only just getting started with my freedom journey, and over the next few years, I'm going to be documenting my wins, my losses, any mistakes I've made, things that have worked, things that haven't worked, and where I am in my freedom building journey. So if you'd like to come along for the ride, I'd love to have you here. Maybe you don't care so much about investing, you don't really get that excited about stocks and shares, but I'm hoping that this video has taught you one thing, and it's that wealth isn't reserved for a special few. Wealth is for everyone, and as long as you can be consistent with anything, I think you can do really well. I would genuinely love to know who's watching, because this is a really strange thing for me. I'm just talking to a camera, but I would love to know who's actually clicked and watched all the way to the end of this video. So if you just leave me a little comment just to let me know a little bit about you and your financial story, or your story in general, I would love reading all those. Right, I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for the chat, and I'll see you next time.